I do appreciate you getting out on tonight, although it's probably one of the warmer nights we've had in a little while. So, but I call the meeting to order. This is November, it's some big letters about that big. November 16th, 2017 county meeting. And I would like to ask Jack McKechnie if you'd mind doing the invocation.
Okay. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity to meet. And Lord, we're just grateful for the community in which we live and people that put in the time and effort. We thank you for the commissioner and the blessing he brings to this community. Father, pray for this meeting tonight, and we just thank you for all that you've given us and provided for us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Bill, you do the pledge, please.
And salute. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You can be seated. We've got a relatively short meeting, I think, and so unless y'all have a lot of questions, we'll get out pretty soon.
Did you bring that list of questions?
Just ignore him.
It's hard.
My little light's pretty dim tonight, so I may have to pull this thing up in the light over here. So the first item is a proclamation. I hereby proclaim October the 24th, 2017 as World Polio Day. Rotary International was founded on February the 23rd, 1905, and is one of the largest nonprofit service organizations. In 1985, Rotary launched Polio Plus and spearheaded the global polio eradication initiative, which included the World Health Organization, U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, UNICEF, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation to immunize the children of the world against polio. Polio cases have dropped by 99.9% since 1988, and the world stands on the threshold of completely eradicating the disease. Rotary has contributed more than $1.7 billion in countless volunteer hours to the protection of more than 2 billion children in 122 countries. I encourage all citizens to join me and Rotary International in the fight for the polio-free world and in thanking Rotary for what they are doing in this effort. And I slipped up and did not approve the minutes of the October 19th meeting. You should have a copy of those minutes, and those minutes are hereby approved as presented. Item 2 and 3 is a notice of an award and contract. I hereby approve the notice of award and contract to, and I can't pronounce that, Stallman England Irrigation Incorporated for the Butternut Creek Golf Course irrigation upgrades in the amount of $636,000. Once all requirements are met, the county will issue the notice to proceed. We received 2 other bids for the project. One was from Green Tea out of Paducah, Kentucky. Their bid was $625,000, but did not include materials. The other was from Dunnick Incorporated from Princeburg, Minnesota, in the amount of $1,018,000. And something we've been working on the last time, I think I mentioned before, but it sounds like a lot of money and is, but this is something that will last us for way past my time around here. Hopefully for the next 30 years. That's been about how long ago we put in our last irrigation system. And it's critical to the golf course that we have a good irrigation system, and we've been piecing it together for several years, so we're all excited. And our golf course actually has done the best this year that it's probably ever done, and and it's in the prettiest condition that it's ever been. And some would say, well, if you're doing that, why do you have an irrigation system? Because the last 2 years we've had a lot of rain, especially this year. We had a lot of rain, and it's really worked for the course. So we'll know that will continue to be what will make it work well. Item 4 is an agreement. I hereby approve this agreement between Union County and the Georgia Department of Transportation in the amount of $30,960 for the period of July the 1st, 2017 through June the 30th, 2018. This is for partial funding, 50% of our transit system's operation cost. As you may know, the county has 2 buses that were purchased with federal grants administered by the state of Georgia. This transportation is provided to the general public, but is also available for those who have no transportation. For many people, this is the only way they can get to and from the grocery store, the doctor's office, and the drugstore. The total cost of operation is $61,920, with the Georgia Department of Transportation amount being $30,960 and the county's portion being $33,960. There's also some additional funding that comes from the actual fare box that's not included to these numbers. Item 5 is I hereby accept this contract based on the proposal between Union County and Paragon Consulting Group Incorporated to provide pavement condition assessment on all county roads within Union County. The amount of the contract is $75,000. We have always done an excellent job of maintaining our county roads, but we felt like having a professional assessment of the roads so that we could more closely prioritize their maintenance and construction in the future would be an asset to all of us, and in the long run save these costs. So we're excited. They've given us a preliminary report so far, and we're working on that to prioritize and decide on which roads and what order to pave them for this next season. We're completed, I think, with all the projects this year, and I think I announced those at the last county meeting. Item 6 is a settlement statement and warranty deed. And I hereby accept this warranty deed between Union County and the Development Authority of Union County for the purchase and transfer of .86 acres known as Tract 2 and .924 acres known as Tract 3 for a total of 1.784 acres that the county is purchasing from the Union County Development Authority. It's really more like a transfer, but we're actually, this was money that they had to credit a purchaser on property they got, so it's kind of like me reimbursing them for that. But the reason we needed this property, I'm going to show you a drawing since there's just a few of you, and I'm going to expand on this a little bit. Back in 2003, when a couple of years after I'd been commissioner, I was checking on some of the deed records at the fire station. I don't even remember what I was checking on at the time, and found that the property, and I made a startling discovery, that the property, when we got the survey and it showed the building on it, the fire station actually, not the new one, the old one, which was still used for holding our vehicles in, the garage and the bay doors, it was the property line of somebody else encroached on the back corner of that building. There's a company, I'm going to jump back to my notes because that's why I made them, so that I wouldn't forget something. So I'm going to get back on them. So many years prior to my taking office, when the fire truck bays were constructed, the back corner of the building was actually on the property line owner from New York. I contacted them back then in 2003 about being able to purchase a small piece of property, because it was just a little triangle, maybe the size of where the jury booth is, that it actually encroached on the building itself, to clear up the survey. They would not comply. He was what, at the time, I thought everybody from that part of the country was like. Turned out there's a lot of good people. I just happened to have one that wasn't one of those good people. I knew that it was necessary someday. I could always condemn the property, that small triangle, so I didn't really worry about it. I would like to have had it done, but we didn't. I just let it lay for a few years. And then I again contacted the company probably in around 2008 or 2009 and asked them again, would they reconsider And this is a company, some of the Gooch Bypass, it's the building called the Plastics Group building. It's just up from Oimby's, if you're coming up the Gooch Bypass by the road department, and Oimby's has their stone yard there, and right above that's that big metal building right on the highway. So it was that building and the property behind it. But anyway, I called him again and he wasn't interested at that time either. And so I asked him, you know, well, would you consider selling the whole property? Well, he wasn't interested in anything. So fortunately, after all these years, last year, our local company, Corrugated Replacement, purchased the building and the property from the New York company. Corrugated has been so willing to work with us, and we appreciate their allowing the county to purchase the amount of property, which includes not only this little triangle in the building, but a small, but also the other acreage that we mentioned, and I'm going to show you in just a minute. A total of 1.784 acres. There's property behind the firehouse that we've used all those years and had no idea, of course, because this happened way back before I became commissioner, that building was built on this property and somebody just apparently didn't realize it was there. I'm sure they wouldn't have done that. In return, Corrugated Replacement purchased the additional property from Union County Development, including a new 8,000 square foot building out at the industrial park, plus the adjacent 2 acres for a future expansion. So they've been real good to work with us, and we in turn have tried to work with them. So I'll show you this, and I'm going to show them just to show you. I don't normally go into this detail, but you want to look at it. You can do it after the meeting if you want to. Can you focus on that? So anyway, can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, so here's the fire station, and here's the property line. It goes right through the back corner of the building there. And this parcel right here is what we were able to buy in addition to just that little piece.
Thank you.
I don't know why I thought y'all was dying to see this. I got it on a big piece of paper in my head. So here's the Plastics Group building. This is Gooch Bypass. This is the old shoe factory. And this is the road out to the fire department. So here's the fire department building. This is the old part that was there. And this was the new part. And the property line, this red line, that was the property line before this all happened. And so it came through that back corner of the building. And this was all part of this Plastics Group property. So since Corrugated Replacement bought this, I asked them if they'd consider letting us buy not only that, but this other back behind here, which we've been using for all these years. And, so they agreed.
Why not?
So we now got that, and we now own all of our fire stations.
Plus, you're legal now.
We're legal for all these years. You want? And item 7 is I hereby approve the 2018 schedule of county meetings. The meetings are still scheduled for the 3rd Thursday of each month. Usually there are about 2 a year that I end up having to reschedule because an unexpected meeting will come up. And you guys always except for a few of you sometimes that don't get the new schedule, most of you end up back here and are able to find it. So we try not to change them if possible. I needed to change this one tonight really because the mayor and I go to George Mountain Regional Commission meeting it's usually 4th Thursday. But because of Thanksgiving, they moved theirs up till today. So the mayor is my proxy tonight. He's going to be my proxy vote for me because we can't, we have to, if we miss more than 2, they can take us off the board. So, and they let you know about that. So we always, but it's legal to have a proxy. So if I have to miss, which is very seldom, I do. So I decided not to try to reschedule this meeting and just utilize the mayor to, although I think he enjoys me driving for him, so he doesn't have to drive over the mountain. This is Dawsonville tonight, but I appreciate him doing that. Item 8 and 9 are two business licenses. I hereby approve the business license for the following business. Mountain Escapes Property Management Incorporated, located at 319 Chicory Drive East. I have no idea where that is. I've never heard of it till just now looking at it. So, and the other, I'm assuming that's in Union County.
Yeah.
I'll try to figure out where that is and maybe know the next time. And then the other one's on Mountain View Bed and Breakfast, located at 261 Track Rock Gap Road. Now that's much more familiar. But 319 Chicory, Chicory Drive East. So, check that out. I get it. Probably shouldn't admit that I don't know everything about the county, but it's so foreign to me. It must be a private road somewhere. I would be real embarrassed if that's a county road now. And I didn't know where it was. And item number 10 is commissioners' comments, and I just had a couple of notes. We're hard at work right now on the budget. What happens in county government when you're on the calendar year, but your budget has to be done by July, or pretty much done, because that's when you have to set your mill rate. Your mill rate is how much I ask y'all to pay county for property taxes so that it covers the budget. So we have to start trying to figure out how much money we're going to need by June or July this year, early on, for next year. And so it's real hard to come up with that. And so we have to do it, and as you know, the tax bills went out about a month ago, I guess, maybe a little bit longer. So you're already paying taxes, and that's one reason we have to get the budget done, so that everybody can get their tax bill and have a couple of months before the end of the year to be able to have them due. But it makes it really hard on trying to come up with what your budget's going to be, because if you have anything unforeseen happens between July and December, and there always is, then it's hard to get that budget balanced. So we don't actually approve the final budget until December. Usually one of the last two meetings, usually in December, is when we'll approve the final budget. And I think the last I heard that we were 1.7 million over, and then we worked that down. Now we're down to about 435,000 over. So now we got to try to work that 435,000 down over the next month. So
You don't maintain any kind of contingency fund?
we do have a contingency fund. Yes, sir. Thank you. We do. And our contingency fund is about 5.5 to 6 months of operation capital, and it's probably close to. I think last year it was 5.2 million in contingency fund. So it's not that we don't have that money, but we try to keep it in contingency, and so we do everything to try to whittle our budget down and make sure that people our departments and everybody's not getting any more than they actually have to have, and try to keep it as low as we can. If in the end we just get to a point we can't, we may have to use some of that contingency, but we try very hard not to, and we've been successful the last 4 years because we've been able to finally build that contingency fund up. We want to try to keep it pretty close to that. The other thing, just an update on the Walmart intersection. I've had some articles in the paper, and some information on it. But if you've been to Walmart lately, you can no longer pull out of the lower Walmart exit and turn left coming to Blair. So that's where we had the last death, and we've had several accidents there through the years. So now, if you're leaving Walmart, you either have to go up to the Nelson tractor exit and go out to the red light and turn left back to Blairsville, or you go up to the red light and get in the turn lane and make a U-turn back to Blairsville. So the things that they lack doing, they have got that middle section done now. They're still keeping the barrels out there, but there's concrete across it. So we still see people trying to drive out there. I saw this week one car had driven out there to the middle trying to get over that barrier we put out there. And so we're going to try to come up with some more signage. But then they're also going to be totally redoing the red light intersection putting in new red lights, new turn arrows, better visible turn arrows, and they're also gonna have to widen the turn radius, because if a tractor trailer happens to be coming to Walmart, and a lot of times they come in there at night, and even though we'll have signage that'll say, you know, no left turn out of Walmart around that roundabout, there'll still be some trucks that get down there and turn, you know, want to go across and figure out they can't cross, and so they're going to turn right and go up to the red light. So if it's a tractor trailer, the way that intersection is, it's tough for them to be able to make a U-turn, because the way that road comes in at a kind of an angle, and it makes that turn sharper than 90 degrees. So part of what they're going to do is, I said, redo the red lights, take one of the big red light posts out, and make a turning radius outside the regular lane of traffic for the trucks that make a U-turn.
Is there going to be enough signage to encourage people to go out Nelson traffic rather than making U-turns? Because I really personally can't see how a U-turn is going to be safer across the.
No, it's not safer. We are definitely going to try, but we can't force them. We're forcing them not to go across and out, but U-turns are a safe traffic flow if you're used to it. If you go to the city now, just about any time you're in a city, there'll be a median, concrete medians everywhere. And so if you want to go halfway between that median, if there's a 7-Eleven or a Kentucky Fried Chicken you see and you want to get to it, it's halfway there, you can't go up the intersection and get there, you got to go up and make a U-turn. I've got a meeting in one part of Atlanta, and I have to do that every time I go there. I have to do that, go up and make a U-turn. But this U-turn is not very good because it's on top of a hill, and the traffic coming from Blue Ridge is coming up that hill, and if they're not paying attention and being careful. So, but they are going to be, there will be signage to try to just encourage people to go on out and else to do that.
My opinion's been that what really causes the accidents is impatience. And when you're trying to make a U-turn at an intersection, making it down the road is one thing, making it at an intersection is an entirely different story. And that's my fear, that people are going to make U-turns in front of oncoming traffic or in front of left turn traffic, or right turn traffic coming out of Cogetski.
It's a good concern, and I agree with you 100%. It's just, and we will be, they will be signing it, and I guess we'll have to do some of that signage ourselves. But they didn't want to change all that until they get the red light, until they get that red light redone. They didn't want to force everybody up there, because there's not a turn arrow. Yeah, I'm saying this right. If you go up to Nelson Tractor and turn left, there's not a left turn arrow there going back to Blair. So you still gotta pay attention and look and see what's going on. And the problem is paying attention and looking to see what's going on. And that's a difficult thing for a lot of people. Just don't do that. So, but at least the new turn arrows up there we think will help. And we don't want to force everybody up there though until we've got that other turn arrow. Yes.
How about cell phones?
Ma'am?
Yes.
Cell
How
phones.
about cell
Oh,
phones?
gosh. Yes, sir.
Signage about 200 feet or more west of that intersection coming east. To warn people, because they're coming over that hill. Trucks are running at night. Those people are coming over that hill at 65 plus.
Yeah,
Well,
and we,
they'll have a left turn arrow to make that U-turn, won't they?
That doesn't.
for the U-turn, there will be,
So everybody else will be red.
there'll be a left turn arrow there once all that intersection's done. But it'll go from a left turn arrow to a blinking yellow arrow, which a lot of people still don't understand what they are.
One of the other things, Lamar, my understanding, and I've always been able to do it, and I've been reassured by police, it's all right. If you don't enter the intersection, you can make a turn on the red light. You can make a U-turn on the red light. So it depends a lot on whether the median goes out far enough to stop them. If they have to enter the intersection, they have to wait on a green light. But if the median's short of the intersection, you can actually make the U-turn while the light's red.
That's a good point. I didn't know that. Because I think ours is short. I think that one is short of the intersection.
If they know it, they can make a turn on the U-turn.
Nobody else will do that.
He just made that
thing you did too. The other thing I was gonna mention, the farmer's market property out there that we purchased. We're still working on trying with GDOT, trying to get access at the Glen Gooch intersection for that red light to get access into that property. And then we're doing preliminary design on getting a gymnasium. We haven't confirmed it yet, but we're working on plans about doing that. We can build a little ball field complex for the little youth. It'll be T-ball coaches pitching 8 and under. So it's a little ball field complex, and then be able to have the gym there and a pickleball court and one parking lot to serve all that. So we don't have parking lots all over the place, because typically none of those things are going on at the same time. Could be a rare exception, but usually not. So that's in the planning. That's probably in our 2-year, 3-year plan. The gym may happen sooner, all depending on the road. If we get the road in, and get how much help we can get from GDOT. And then we're also where Sears is grading up there. They've graded out a spot there. Where they stop grading, that's where the Devonport property starts. And so GDOT has asked us if we consider putting a county road from there back to the school street behind it. Does that make sense? Just a straight, so that when they put those concrete medians to block access, they would leave it open right there at the top of the hill going into Sears. So then if you want to go into Sears, otherwise it'd be a concrete median there, and you'd have to go all the way down the red light, make a U-turn, come back up to Sears, and that's bad for the business and everything else. So we got a lot of things we're working on, and they're all complicated, and they all take a lot of time, and they take money, and they take patience. And it's hard to do all those things, but we're working on it. Let's see. If anybody, so I'm going to close the meeting and open it up for any other questions or comments about anything y'all think about. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that playmaking land swap that you had for that peninsula in the farmers market, how did that go?
Tell me that again.
That land swap that you wanted to do, that there was that peninsula that was jutting into the land that you bought, that 13 acres.
That's done.
That's done?
That's done. We've got that all done and settled. We own that. We're just getting ready to burn that brush pile out there. But we own everything but about 1 3/4 acres right up to the highway where the Jenkins family is, and they're going to be filling it, and they're right adjacent to the red light. But we also from them got the access at the red light, which is their property. So we got that all covered and taken care of. So we got that 5 acres plus the 13 acres that we got from the Devonport family. So we're in good shape up there. Anything else? Yes, ma'am.
I do have a question on the Department of Transportation. That's that Union County Transport
Yes,
bus
ma'am.
thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
How does one access this? Are they listed in the phone book? Do you know?
Yeah, it's under Union County. It's
Union County Transportation.
Union County Transportation.
Or you can just call our office and they'll transfer you over there. If you can't find it, our number's easy.
Yeah, 439-6000, and they can transfer you right over there. That's been a really good service to help a lot of people, and especially as we get an older clientele, as some of us are. I hadn't noticed any of y'all getting older, but I've noticed that I'm getting a little bit older, so maybe needing to ride on that bus before long. Anything else? Yes.
I obviously missed the discussion on the gym. Is it a general purpose gym, or is it only for just basketball, or what
No.
functionality is?
Okay. No, right now we've got the recreation department uses what's called the rubber floor gym, which used to be, before that it was called the old middle school gym, and it's right there by the bus garage.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got access to that gym and the old red roof gym, the one that's the antique that was there many years before even I played there, plus many years before that it was built. So it's right there. It's So we got those two gyms, the only two that we've got regular use of. And we just can't do all the programs, so, we've been under pressure from all the basketball programs, from parents and from adults that want to do exercising and dance programs and a lot of different things that we don't have enough room for. And I've been under this kind of pressure to get this done for 2 or 3 years, and we've toyed with where to put it, how to put it, but it's going to be a double gymnasium. We've already got the money. When we did our SPLOS, we bonded $1.5 million for it, and then we've got about another $700,000 we've got to come up with out of our SPLOS. And so we're trying to put a little bit that aside each month, so that we'll have that built up, and once we start, we'll be able to pay for it. But it'll be useful for going out there and walking, exercising, using it for anything. But no, it's not just a basketball gym. It's all-purpose facility. You know, pickleballing in the wintertime, and tennis people may want to play some in there. It's really a versatile gymnasium. But we've got, I wish I had the numbers with me, and I don't, but the number of kids in basketball programs just been exploding. And we're like, some of them are having to stay over there till 9 or 10 o'clock at night just to get practice time. Because there's so many kids now. You know, our population's growing, not fast, but it is growing. And our student population is growing as well as our adult population. So, looking forward in the future, you know, we're just getting in a bind. And we used to could schedule all the school gyms, and did that. It was a little bit of a problem, but we did it. But now with the school security, the fact that everything has to be secure now, we can't just be letting the public go in the school building, because all the gyms are connected to or a part of the school buildings. So they're still good to work with us, but we think this will be a real asset for our recreation department. Any other questions? At all? You got another one?
No.
Okay. Well, thank y'all very much for coming. I appreciate it. I love smiling, friendly faces out in the audience. And that's what we get to have 99% of the time. That sure is nice. Yeah. Thank y'all.